Hello and welcome to Netflix vs. Cinema, the podcast that goes to the cinema every week, watches a couple of things, rates them out of 5, does the same thing on various streaming platforms at home, rates them out of 5, and puts them up against each other and sees where money was better spent this week. Should we have bothered leaving the house, or was it actually worth the trip to the cinema? My name is Tosin and I am the host, based up in a place called Bromsgrove in the middle of the United Kingdom, and my local cinema is the one I'm going to is one called the Omniplex in the Great Park in Birmingham, which is lovely. It is lovely. They've done it up and they've made it into a real event going to the cinema again. It's actually really, really cool. But anyway, let me introduce you to my various co-hosts. Joining me as always on the Isle of Wight this week is Shaun Harris.
Hello.
So Shaun, where is your local cinema at the moment?
But it's still Cineworld. That's
on the Isle of Wight.
On the Isle of Wight, yeah. That's been my later ones, and it used to be at Poole as well on the mainland, but it's changing to a View Cinema, and they don't do unlimited tickets.
No, they don't have View. View are very stingy like that.
Yeah.
View is it?
So, but there is the Odeon. There is the Odeon with the IMAX, but that's right in the town centre. So. Yeah.
Okay, and also joining us on the Isle of Wight is Sharon Bollen.
Hello.
And due to, monopolies and everything like that, I'm guessing that you have exactly the same local as Shaun does.
Yes, it's just good old Cineworld. Every time they say, we're going to be closing down branches, we all sort of hold our breath. But so far, they have dodged the bullet each time. The Cineworld is still hanging on in there. There is an independent cinema on the island.
The Commodore.
Still hanging on in there. The Commodore Ride. I think in the past, when we've been between chains, they still keep chugging them out. They still keep chugging along.
Yeah.
So I haven't been for years.
I'm impressed that place stays open. I'm really impressed the place stays open. I think it might be a case of the people on the island. People online don't like to travel. So I think that people in Ride who want to go to the cinema just take whatever the Commodore gives them and don't necessarily go to Newport all the way 20 minutes down the road to Newport. That's too far to go to the Cineworld. And joining us from London is our London correspondent Holly Neslin. What is your local?
I have many locals.
Ooh.
Many. The one I go to most regularly is the
show off London.
London. Richmond. But we now have a cinema in Brentford that is very beautiful and is I cannot remember which brand it is, but it's lovely and has a very nice bar and things and is all beautifully civilized, and you can get membership and you get to go take a guest for free on a Monday, apparently.
Well, you see, I think that is the way forward, because, when I look at the Omniplex that's close to me, even people who haven't been to the cinema, there's some people who really haven't been to the cinema since COVID, have walked in there and have gone, oh my God, it's amazing in here. Every chair is a recliner. You walk in and there's like a diner thing, like all set up, looks like they stole a whole bunch of props from Greece and put them in the foyer and everything like that. And I think that's the way. It's actually it becomes an event to go there. Like, I go there with my daughters, watch a film, stay afterwards, have a burger in the foyer of the cinema. By the time we get home, the day is gone.
I've been known to go up to the Chiswick cinema, which is also lovely, and they've got a really nice bar in there. And I've sat and had a coffee out on their balcony and got some work done before.
That's not a chain one. Is that like just a local independent thing?
It is I think it's probably the same. Is it Picture House? It may be the same people who do Brentford, but which is the same, where people go there for drinks or for breakfast and stuff as well.
Chiswick does sound like a Picture House place. It really does.
Yeah,
really
but Brentford is the same, so it's all very lovely. But yes, it's usually Odeon, for courtesy of Odeon Limitless memberships, which make everything affordable.
Cool.
And given our cinema buddy Steph and my general aspiration for 52 films in 52 weeks,
the limitless card is the way forward.
It really is.
All right. Okay. That's enough of that philosophical rabbit hole. as to the place of cinema in today's world. Let's fire off with what it is that we've actually seen in these cinemas over the last week or so. So, Shaun, what have you seen?
Okay, well, I've seen M3GAN and Jurassic World Rebirth.
Ooh,
M3GAN 2, I should say.
M3GAN 2.0.
2.0.
Yeah, M3GAN 2.0. All right, cool. and Jurassic World Rebirth. Has that been released, or was that a preview screening?
It has been released.
Oh, okay, cool. Is that a pun? I'm not sure it is. Anyway, Sharon, what have you seen?
I haven't actually seen anything yet because I'm going to see Jurassic World Rebirth at 7:30.
So would you like to close your ears when Shaun and I'm guessing Holly talk about it, or do you think that's not going to make a difference?
It probably won't make a difference because I'm going to go and see it, but I'll because we don't tend to be spoilerific, so I should be okay.
Yeah, we don't tend to be spoilerific, but then again, I have a feeling that you can't really spoil the film.
I think we basically know what it's about.
And it turns out that the T-Rex was her mother all along. And Holly, what have you seen in cinema this week?
I have seen Jurassic World Rebirth as well.
Okay, cool. Jurassic World Rebirth. I have seen M3GAN 2.0, and I did pop in to go see F1, the movie, after you guys reviewed it last week. And I think I emailed you what I thought, and I sent you guys a message about what I thought. It's an 80s movie in HD. It is like everything, like one in the HD. The lone wolf, you got it. The random mid-film sex scene, you got it. Like it's an 80s, and when you think about the fact that Jerry Bruckheimer is one of the producers, it totally makes sense because he was the king of the 80s movie. What? A power ballad? No,
power ballad.
There's a lot of songs that I did not spot a power ballad. They have updated the music, so the music has gone a bit diversified. But there's no "Take My Breath Away" or anything like that. But it gets so close.
With the obligatory point where you can feel the key change coming up. You know when it's going to hit.
Yeah, there's a scene in this one that you could have put that right in. But anyway, that's what I've seen. Okay, how about at home? What have we seen at home? Let's go with Sharon first.
Oh, again, I'm still a couple of episodes away from completion because I've been watching things on Apple and they've been doing that weekly.
Yeah.
So I've got one more episode of Murderbot, and I must admit it's like wading. It still hasn't finished, and there's a couple I'm watching, but it's like wading through treacle. So I probably could binge watch them, but I just can't. It's just not in me to do it.
Yeah. That tells its own story. I think that's its own review of whatever it is. Okay, how about you, Holly? What have you seen at home?
I'm trying to remember what I've seen because I haven't seen anything finished anything new since we last spoke. Though I have started. It's another weekly one. Oh gosh, now I can't remember what it's called. It's a new murdery thing with a woman who writes crossword puzzles on.
I think I know. I think I know the way that Jurassic, and it's in Sunny Climes with Sally Lindsay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you think, Sean? What have you seen at home?
Not the Madame Blanc ones. No, not those.
That's the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of Madame Blanc.
Okay. Well, I've seen the series of Love, Death and Robots.
Oh yes, Love, Death and Robots.
Love. Yeah, Love, Death and Robots. And I saw something by the same people that did that. What was the one? The Swedish bloodbath one, but I can't remember for the life of me what it was. that was on Amazon. I try and find it.
I feel like you're going through a period where you're trawling through the dregs of Amazon to see what they're going to throw up at you. It's like what are they going to throw at you? All right, cool. Anyway, I saw a film called Heads of State on Prime Video, and this is starring Idris Elba as the British Prime Minister and John Cena as the American President.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Holly, you are right to be wide-eyed about that, and it is everything you would expect it to be. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, Heads of State. Sean, you found.
I still have.
I can't remember what the other one was, but it was done by the same people who did Swedish Bloodbath. I've got a little Amazon tablet here, but I was just trying to find it, but I can't find my history or nothing. And
okay, all right, no problem.
I still have We Were Liars from.
Let's do We Were Liars. Let's break that one out. So yeah, we'll do it that way. Cool. All right, cool. Then let's kick off with. I'm going to kick off with M3GAN 2.0. Which might tell you what I think about the Jurassic series right now. And I'm like, yeah, go away. Let's start with M3GAN 2.0. So M3GAN 2.0, a couple of years ago, we had M3GAN. I think it was probably around about COVID times. It sort of came out around about then. And it was one of those films that sort of snuck underneath everybody's radar to become a little bit of a cult classic, I think you'd have to say. And the whole idea behind it, it's almost a bit like an updated Child's Play. But only you have Alison Williams, who plays a woman who is like she's a robotics engineer, so she's working on building this whole new toy. So you have your smartphone, you have your smart everything, and the idea was like to build a smart companion for kids. And we're going to build this doll that would be everything there for the kid to sort of like, and it was almost kind of like renting out your parenting. Now, this is a film, so obviously it went wrong. It went wrong, and it turned out that they hadn't quite done this thing. They rushed to get it to market. The robot went a little bbit murderous. And it's no spoiler to say that by the end of the first M3GAN movie, they defeated the robot, they killed it, they burnt it, and everything like that. But in typical horror movie stuff, M3GAN died, but she got better. and when this film kicks off, you have the Alison Williams character, whose name I cannot remember, who is she has now become a crusader against in the improper use of AI or the irresponsible use of AI. Her niece is still around because after they survived it, everybody from the first film who survived comes back, and it's all about, and she's now trying to sort of campaign for, look, we've got to make sure that we use this thing properly because these are all the dangers of the thing are. And she's living in this improbable house, which she says, our landlord, we got it really, really cheap in this area. And these things keep happening that go around the place that show that somebody, somewhere, through technology, might be keeping an eye on her and her niece, still, 2 years after the first film. And when the film kicks off, it kicks off with one of these sort of things where it says, somewhere on the Turkish-Iranian border or something like that. And you get introduced to another AI, because obviously the American government saw what happened in the first one and went, oh, we could use that. And then
what was her name? I can't remember what her name was. Amelia. That's
her name was Amelia, and they come up with some extremely clunky thing that it's an acronym for what Amelia actually stands for. It's so clunky. And so what entirely happens is that you find out that, okay, M3GAN isn't quite dead, but there's this new bot called Amelia. Amelia goes rogue, and in a little bit Terminator 2, a little bit kind of just movie logic is, well, the only way to stop one killer robot is with another killer robot. So let's get the original killer robot, rebuild her, and then send her after this new killer robot. And I think that this film is knowing. There's some bits where it's very, very knowing, and it knows how stupid it is. It knows how stupid it is, and it's constantly winking at the camera. Sorry, Sean, you're going to say.
Yeah, it's like there's even the song bit in it that was in the first one, isn't it? And enough of that.
The song, oh my god! So the first one had this dance sequence that just came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere, and in this one. Yeah, this one has a dance sequence as well, which is just kind of like you can almost feel the filmmakers just sort of like stifling giggles behind the camera. You can almost sort of like go like, this is so stupid. I can't believe we're getting away with this. Like, I can't believe they gave us money to make this. And you can there's bits where it goes in. I do think, however, Sean, I don't know what you think, but I do think that the film is too long. I think that the film is too long. If this film had been half an hour shorter, I think it would have been better. If it had been hour after, I think it would have been punchy. But they keep getting to this point where I kept coming to the point where, okay, cool. And here is where you would have the crescendo. And here is where oh my God, no, it's still going. And then they're like, oh, but here's a double cross and a triple cross. And oh, this is what's actually going on. And there's bits about it that, I have been thinking about this film. There's bits about the plot. And there's a lot of plot for a film that should be like a popcorn.
You know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and then there's bits about it that don't make sense. That don't make sense. It's one of these films that has bad guy in plain sight. You're like, shows up on screen. Yep, that's the bad guy. Kind of thing. And there's a bit where even within the logic of the film, somebody goes, yeah, but you can only get in there with my fingerprint. And I'm like, wait. But if they can only get in there with your fingerprint, how is nobody realizing that means that you're not on their side? So there were bits about it that I think went a little bit mad, went a little bit haywire. How about you, Sean? What did you think?
Yeah, not much the same with you. I mean, there was so many plot holes in it, so many ridiculous, scenarios and all of that, and flippy floppy changing ideas all of a sudden. Okay, let's do that. That was like, real adamant on one thing, and then they, let's say something else. Okay, yeah, let's do it.
It's like the fact that the Elson Williams character is a real advocate for, like, oh, we need police AI, this is a terrible idea, and then someone goes, oh, but what if we let AI out of the box? And she goes, oh, okay.
That's it. And I mean, it was silly, really, but like you say, it didn't take itself seriously. Now, if films don't take themselves too seriously, I can forgive plot holes. I can forgive that, because they know they're just sort of saying to you, look, this is, stupid things are going to happen, just run with it and just have a good time, whereas some films are stupid but they take themselves serious, like Drop or whatever, or things like that. But yeah.
Well, the thing is, I thought that the probably about the first half of this film, I was with it. Yeah. I mean, Jermaine Clement shows up, and he's like a real good. I think Jermaine Clement is fun when he's on screen. He is fun when he's on screen. There are developments that happen later. Essentially, I think that there's too many developments. There's just too many developments that happen in the film. They keep just piling development on top of development on top of development. And Sean, the whole thing that they were trying to dig into the ground to get into that Faraday cage.
Yes.
I'm still not sure exactly what the heck that was there for, or why it was there, or what it was supposed to be doing, and it just and I feel like they could have cut out a couple of their twists.
You're probably right there. It did seem storylines. It did actually start to seem a little bit long, and I was thinking, could finish, which it could have done quite easily, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could have finished a lot easier, and it would have been better. And I would have been happy for a M3GAN.
Nevertheless, it was quite good fun. And
it was quite good fun. I'll give it a 3. But the thing is,
give it a 3 as well.
I was hoping for a 4. I was hoping that after the first one, because the first one is everything that we said. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, everything, but it also isn't that long and just ends. This one is woolly. It's woolly. It's baggy. They tried to up it and it just became unwieldy. So that's a 3 for M3GAN 2.0. Right, that's it. And now, Holly, we're going to come to you for We Were Liars. A young adult thing that's probably going to... let me put it this way. The poster for this, or the thumbnail for this, just makes me go, nope! and run in the other direction. I'm like, nope, this is going to be a whole bunch of attractive teenagers being extremely stupid and angsty, and I want none of this. And Holly, tell me something to assuage my prejudices.
I will do so. Well, I've opened the IMDb entry to make sure that I actually vaguely remember what any of them are called, because I find it very difficult to differentiate between blonde people.
They're called Joey, Pacey, Dawson.
Exactly. I mean, at least this isn't as bad as whichever series it was where I could only identify people as generic white boy. So, this does a little better than that, if only because the young people look slightly different as well. So the premise is that a 17-year-old girl arrives on her family island in the Hamptons, where they spend their summer with her wealthy grandparents and her mother and her mother's sisters, all of whom have houses on this island. They are clearly very, 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 very rich, and then a bit more rich. Mm-hmm. And the summer before, she had an accident, and nobody will talk to her about what had happened. So she knows that she was very badly hurt. She spent a very long time in hospital, but the circumstances of it are unknown to her, which is a very weird way to begin and to continue anything. So there she is on the island with her cousins and her friend, who was the son of one of the aunts. No, the nephew of one of the aunt's boyfriends.
I'm guessing that she doesn't remember anything.
She remembers her family. She knows who all of them are.
So she got attacked, and she has some sort of amnesia.
And she remembers part of the summer, but then there comes a point that she can't remember. So there she is with her two cousins of the same age, and the potentially love interest, whose name I have, Gat. That's it. And and they are reuniting, having not seen each other all year, as are the aunts who had not seen each other in a while, and they are at this, let's say, this very wealthy family who are all played off against each other by the patriarch. Are of these three very attractive blonde women played by people we all know. There's Caroline from Vampire Diaries and things. So there's Mamie Gummer.
Oh yeah, Meryl Streep's daughter.
Yes, so it's it's a surprisingly good cast. Yeah, Candice King. David Morse.
Holly, you're doing a very good job of explaining this TV show, but I'm going to be honest with you, I am already losing interest because I'm so like this sounds like I know exactly what this show is.
It is, but it's basically an ongoing unpicking of what happened and trying to remember and work out what happened the summer before and what the things she is not being told are.
So teenagers do Memento.
Told. It's yes, not dissimilar. So it is not profound, unsurprisingly, but it is surprisingly quite watchable, and I actually enjoyed it. It was not, it's not brilliant. It's reasonably compelling. I did want to find out what had happened. I did manage to actually care about some of the characters, which was impressive because I assumed I wouldn't. And there are sort of some twists and turns of people's personalities and who they are and why they act as they do, and the obligatory bit of racism because towards the non-white characters and social justice awakening and so on and so forth. All terribly predictable, but also It very much did what it said on the tin.
Yeah.
You sort of can't say very much about it apart from rich people, rich teenagers not knowing what had happened. It's the sum total grand excitement of it.
So how many stars would you give it?
I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
I was debating a high 2. It's really a low 3, but it is worthy of. If you've got plenty of time on your hands and you've not got round to doing as I am now doing and catching up on 4 seasons of Grey's Anatomy, it will pass the time. And wish me luck. I am halfway through the first series I'm catching up on.
Of Grey's Anatomy. You do like your self-flagellation in the TV show, don't you? You do like that. But all right, okay. So you're talking about the no white characters, which is mostly sort of like through Rahul Kohli. Rahul Kohli, a British actor who, for all the world, I'm not sure whether Holly, you might get this reference, but for all the world, he looks to me. I mean, I saw a show with him called Death and Other Details, and in it, he looked so much like a South Asian John Krasinski.
Yes, I
with
do
the
know
beard.
what you mean.
Yeah, with the beard and everything. I was like, good God, it's like if when you have one of those filters that you could put through and you could say if this person was another race, what they would look like. I was like, he looks like if John Krasinski was like Indian or something. but anyway.
He's also in The Fall of the House of Usher, which I rewatched the other day because I enjoy all of those, which therefore means he's in at least one of the other series / films by
with Mike Flanagan.
He is. Yeah, Midnight Club and Midnight Mass and The Haunting of Bly Manor.
I don't know any of those. Never heard of them.
They're good. They're good.
They don't sound up my street.
Oh no, Sean. Actually, no. We Were Liars is definitely not up your street. Do not even go there, Sean. I will be so annoyed. I'll be so annoyed if you go there.
I'll tell you, your recommendations are generally pretty good. You would taste very well. So
you would be unhappy if you watch We Were Liars.
Yeah, you would be so
Flanagan
annoyed.
Is
very
good.
Mike Flanagan, I think, will be up your street. I think Midnight Mass, especially, is totally up your street.
Good.
Yeah, Midnight Mass on Netflix, I think, is totally up your street, Sean. But what you were saying about
what's it called? The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
So I will have to go dead on 7, guys.
Okay. No problem. We'll move on.
You.
We will fire on. But okay, next week I want to talk about low-level things or mid-tier things that seem to have stupidly good casts. Like you were talking about with We Were Liars. Like, I mean, there's two films. The one I saw on Amazon Prime, and I saw a trailer for another one, and I couldn't believe who was in this film. I was like, how do you get this cast? And I've never even heard of this film. But it seems to be happening a lot, and I'm trying to figure out how the heck they're doing it. Yeah. But anyway, let's go to cinema and let us talk Jurassic World Rebirth. Sean, you want to tell us a little bit about this? And then
Holly dinosaurs, big Tyrannosaurus Rexes, mutations. They've been, basically the story it starts off, I don't know what year was it, Holly? It started off anyway, then obviously they're trying to create these hybrid dinosaurs.
So it was, they begin with it 17 years ago.
17, right.
Is how it opens.
So yeah, and they create, they've created something, let's just say, for a quirky sort of thing, it escapes, kills a lot of people, and then it goes present day.
What? How did that? I could never have thought that.
Astounding, isn't it?
So this one. So and then you've got a company. You get a little gang together. There's like 2 story arcs to start with. You've got a little. They want to get these. If they can get the DNA from 3 of these dinosaurs that have been mutated, they can create a drug that will save the world. So they obviously a little team gets together. You've got your scientist and your sort of do-dare adventurer Alan Quatermain sort of girl character, and then there's this other with a little family. There's a fella, 2 girls, and one of the girls has got a boyfriend with her, and something happens. They get turned over in the ocean. They get rescued by the expedition, and they end up on an island getting chased and normal sort of stuff you'd expect in a Jurassic Park film.
Sure. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I haven't even watched this film, and I can already feel the creaky, rusty gears of storytelling clanking into place to try and resurrect something and try and make something happen here. Man, they must have paid Scarlett Johansson so much money to be in this film.
We have the mandatory wealthy man in suit, as there always is.
Yep.
We have, as Sean said, the fighty, rough and tumble, can overcome anything. Scarlett Johansson. Yep. What's his face? I can never remember his name, but he's in everything now.
Oh yeah, the guy from Bridgerton.
Yes.
Jonathan Bailey.
Anthony something.
Thank you. Yes, Jonathan Bailey.
Yeah.
Being a scientist, the semi-useless, the boyfriend who is semi-useless, but there are many walking stereotypes.
I like that character, actually. To be fair, To be fair, he was my favourite character in the whole of the film. Believe it or not, I know you won't believe it, Ollie, but I just like it's a transitional thing, I think. But I just really
I very much get that, and it was form a coherent sentence, woman. I ran my usual in my head sweepstake of whom I thought would survive.
Mm-hmm.
I had one person whom I thought would not make it and did, which was a surprise. And I will message you. So I will, when everybody's seen it, I will message you to say who I thought wouldn't make it.
That'd be good. Yeah, you can. That's it. Yeah. So I mean, you pretty much can tell, can't you? It's like the Star Trek things, like like let's go on.
Shows up with a red
There's three people there you've never ever seen before.
Yeah, they show up for the dangerous bit. Yeah, then they. Oh look. Where's the peril in that?
They got caught. There's a surprise.
Yeah, it's like, who's the bad guy in M3GAN? What's actually going on? It's like, I wonder what.
I think there was. I was saying, like, with the realistic thing, was that Brimstone film we spoke about last week? That was really good because good characters.
Everyone died in it.
You know, and then everyone did. But when major character, I think that's what made Game of Thrones quite good to start with.
At the beginning, you really had the feeling that nobody was safe.
Anyone could die. Like life, anyone could go.
And to be fair, you pretty much got to the end thinking nobody's safe either. No. So
but there was a bit in the middle where you knew because of the storyline, some people were going to be safe.
Yeah, the way.
As it was going on, it got to the point where you're like, okay, now these are the main characters that they can't kill off too early. All right, yeah, okay. So anyway, it tells me a little bit about this film that we have veered off and started talking about something else.
Yeah.
So how many stars would you give this film?
It is what it gets on the tin. I thought it was quite exciting in some places, nothing we haven't really seen before, but it deserves a 3-star, I think. It deserves a 3-star.
I agree. I very much enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
It was a fun, ridiculous film.
Ridiculous, yeah.
In keeping with the series, it is not.
I don't know why they want to mutate so many dinosaurs. I guess.
Because the things I expect from this film is that they're going to come up with some stupid retconning backstory to try and link this film to the first Jurassic Park film, to try and tell you that, oh yeah, we know we've told you about 3 or 4 stories now, but in the background there was this whole other thing that was happening that nobody ever spoke about, even though it was really, really important. Like how the third Jurassic World movie just brought out, was it the second one? The second one brought out of nowhere, oh, there was this business partner that John Hammond had, and you're like, what the heck? And we've never heard about this.
Yeah. Where have you been all this time? Yeah.
Where have you been all this time? And I just think that they need, either they do something different with the Jurassic franchise or just, anyway, but never mind. Anyway, I'll stop. Sean, you need to head off. But, so Sean.
No, I'm still all right still got me
yes.
robots. But I've got till about 7:10, I reckon, to get.
Well, I'll tell you what, right? I've done that, and you were so keen to talk about Love, Death, and Robots that I'm going to leave heads of state. We're going to talk about that next week, and which will give Holly time.
No, I spent. This is the one time when I've had a bit of time, and I spent so much time. I've got a whole spiel sorted and everything. I wouldn't mumble. I've got it. I've been practicing.
Okay, cool. So Sean, tell us, Love, Death, and Robots season 4.
Sorry, Tosin, I know you want to see this. Yeah, I've got post-it notes of everything that I like to happen. I'm all out in front of me. So,
do it, man. I've seen about 4 of the episodes of this season. The ones you recommended.
And I've given ratings. I've given them ratings of how I liked them. So you've got Close Encounters of the Mini Kind. So basically, starts off like Close Encounters, and the really nice aliens come out. Some cars turn up. Like bang, 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 and then a big war breaks out, and you got like the aliens causing havoc, and then militias coming through and all that. And
okay. So just quickly, for anybody who doesn't know what Love, Death, and Robots is, Love, Death, and Robots is like an anthology series where you have between 7 and 15-minute episodes. Each one of them, they're all animated, and they usually take like like a short story, but sometimes they do one. And I think in one of the previous series, they did one that was like. It was called like Rise of the Mini Dead or something like that, which was supposed to, or Night of the Mini Dead, which was essentially a zombie movie told through miniatures, but the entirety of a zombie movie. And this one is essentially the one that Sean was talking about. Or was it Close Encounters of the Mini Kind? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, close. That one. It's essentially an alien invasion movie told in miniature, like the entire what's it called? The entire plot of it, but in 7 minutes. But sorry, Sean, carry on.
Yeah. Okay, so the second one, Spider Rose, is basically an enhanced tech lady that the creature, that's quite good, but she's like it's a revenge thing, but she can like combine lots of tech, so it's basically a tech warrior on a revenge mission.
Oh yeah.
That one gets a 3. Now, how Zeke got
religion, yeah.
That's wow. So this Lancaster bomber over Germany, Second World War. And then you flash to the Nazis doing a ritual of sorts. And this strange demon pops out and gets inside the Lancaster, I think it's a flying fortress actually, and sort of all sorts of mayhem goes out. I really like this one a lot because it was like a Second World War one combined.
Yeah, people. I figured that because you sent a message earlier today saying, "Oh, this one you think is a really good one," and then once I started watching, I realized it was a World War II one. I was like, "Okay, yeah, this is why Sean likes this."
But the thing is, it's. I mean, I probably don't want to give the plot away too much on this, but this thing can't be destroyed, except. But anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was the other one, and then
because I did watch that one. I did watch that one on your recommendation.
Right. You've got the other large things. Now this.
How many stars for Housing Go His Religion?
Sorry, that's got a 5. Believe it or not, I have totaled them all up and averaged them out. So one got 5. That was a personal one. This one, the other large, it's. So you've got this cat, and obviously its owners come in, and it thinks it's talking to the owners, but it's obviously talking cat speak, and it's like, and the cat's really, really posh on my own. Anyway, they come back with this little robot that does everything. You know what I mean? Do that.
Yeah.
And the robot talks cat language. So he's like, do you want some? Oh, yes, please. And so let's just say the cat sort of persuades the robot to do, shall we say, and other cats and robots to take over the world. So I really, really like that. I loved the cat. I loved it when it came up because it has to. Oh no, that's the other cat one. There's a lot of cat and religious in this one.
Oh yeah. They seem to have some themes in the series. Yeah,
they do.
The seasons.
And this one, 400 boys.
Okay.
So this is probably my favourite of them all. I really like Zima Blue in the first series.
Yep.
And let's just say, so it's in the future. There's a group of gangs that all fight each other, like the Warriors, just like the Warriors.
I was thinking that when I watched that one. And when it kicked off, I was like, "Yeah, this is the Warriors. This is a riff of the Warriors. Yeah, Sean's gonna love this."
So yeah, I loved it, and I just thought it was really, really good, and I love that style of animation as well. And the characters you could actually, when they're all talking, the first gang. Do you know what I mean? When they're trying to do that.
Yeah.
They're all talking, and you can just imagine a bunch of characters like that. There's one that's rolling a cigarette, and there's one, and it's just the animation. Love the animation. It's a very well sketched world. I mean, that's one of the most impressive things I find with Love, Death and Robots is how well it sketches a world and throws you into it in about 7 minutes. In about 7 minutes, you're like, yeah, I get this world. I believe this world. That's it. And then you've got the screaming of dinosaurs, basically gladiators on the backs of dinosaurs. The last one, and then things happen. The last one standing like one of the gladiators is standing with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. That was okay. I gave that one a 3. And then you got Golgotha, which is where some like a water alien race. So there is a theme in 3.
Yeah, because when you said Golgotha, I was thinking that could be another one of the religious ones.
Yeah, that was my assumption.
Yeah. So basically, this visitor comes to Earth. He wants to meet a vicar. He don't want to meet the leaders of the world. He wants to meet a religious character. So he's walking along with this vicar character, and then nasty things happen. So I didn't know. It was sort of live action in that mixed with animation. So, for He Can Creep now. He Can Creep. We like this. I was just going to say cats again. So you got cats in this. Cats versus Satan. Cats versus Satan.
Oh wow!
Basically, this one cat has to go and recruit other cats so they can, because Satan wants to take over this. So he's trying to persuade this poet to. So they go, we got to stop him. And apparently, it's been going on for years. Really, 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 really like. Well,
this is it like a Magnificent Seven with cats?
Yeah, but it's very much So the animation in this was great. So Satan could take different forms, cats fighting. So that was pretty good. So that one got 5, and then you got like Chili Peppers ones. Chili Peppers. Oh no, sorry, I forgot to say. There's one stupid
smart appliances, stupid people.
Yeah. So I'm trying to hold up. Let's slow down. So this is basically, it is Aardman. I'm pretty sure it must be, but it's just basically appliances like a thermostat control.
It's kind of like you know what it reminded me of. It's like Creature Comforts.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
Yeah, Creature Comforts where they have like people talking about stuff, but then they have like animals actually animated to give all these sort of like points of views of this. Mm-hmm. But this is like it's like a comical look at the different smart appliances around the house and what they think about what humans use them for.
That's it. Well, as I say, when you see it, we can discuss it a little bit more later. And and then you've got Can't Stop the Music, which is basically a Chili Peppers concert with like puppets. So I only gave that one a 3 because it's all right if you like the Chili Pepper music, but it wasn't nothing exciting. And I totaled them all up, and they came to 39. So I thought divide by 10. So it's rounded up as a 4. It's round it up, it becomes a 4. If you was to say, well, that was 39, it came to, we round it up to 40 divided by 10.
So 3.9.
So the whole series gets 4. Yeah. Oh, thanks for letting me do that, Toast.
Yeah, no problem. I think Love, Death and Robots is one of the best things on Netflix.
It is. Really is.
I actually hands down think it is one of the best things on Netflix. I think it is inventive, not all of the episodes work. Not all of the episodes work, but they're always inventive and they always go out there and they always try something that you probably haven't really seen. And I feel like that's almost like how they make these things. They just go, right, this is your thing, make a 7 to 15 minute short about this, blah blah blah, and people just go wild, and they come in but they do come up with some really good things. But when I started watching the first episode, and it was like, Close Encounters of the Mini Kind, and once I realized that it was another mini episode after the Night of the Mini Dead or something like that, I had a massive smile on my face, because they are so because they're so knowing. They sort of like taking like all of the things about all of the tropes that you expect in this kind of, all of the tropes you expect in a alien invasion movie. Yeah. But they do it in such a way that they don't even speak properly. It's just kind of like, let's go. That's all you hear throughout the whole thing, and yet you know exactly what's going on. You're like, yep, that's the bit where that happens. That's the bit where that's the escalation bit. Oh, that's the bit where the humans fight back. Oh, and that's the bit where somebody does something very, very stupid.
I think even Sharon might like this series. I know you don't like animation, but think of it as the story.
No, I think you've seen some of Love, Death and Robots, haven't you, Sharon?
I've seen a couple of episodes. I think just mini episodes, but not much.
Well, they're all.
But I do like when you said Aardman. I quite like Aardman animation. That's the thing.
If you check that one, because that's only about 2.5 minutes. That one.
Yeah, that was only.
And you'd like that because there's as I say, just appliances having a chat.
The animation style is very Aardman.
Yeah.
The topics are very much not Aardman. There's stuff.
Yes. That's two bits, isn't there? The shower head and the
when the shower head is talking. Yeah, you're not finding that in Wallace and Gromit. Let me put it that way. So approach with caution is what I think I would say.
Okay, I'm thinking, as soon as you said that, I was thinking, I might be out on that one then. I might just...
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. That's it for the things that we're reviewing. Because we have 2 things in cinema, so we're going to match it with 2 things from streaming. Who do we think has won this week?
I think it's streaming, because all the cinema was a 3. I think.
Oh, that yeah.
And my 4 probably just inched it
it
a bit for Love, Death and Robots.
And I was surprisingly kind to We Were Liars.
Yeah, I mean, but Holly, we understand that with you, when you give a 3, that thing was not that good. That thing was bad. A 3, you've got a grade on a curve, and you've got to be like, when Holly says it's a 3, I'm like, eesh.
Well, I mean, I now say that most things should be 3s, because statistically speaking, we've got a bell curve.
I sympathise with you, Holly, because if you like something, even if no one else does, sometimes something that you like, no one else likes.
It's like, I enjoyed watching it, but it's not good.
I mean, that's it.
Part of the reason I enjoyed watching it was how terrible it was.
Yeah.
Sometimes some films are not going to be anything but a 3.
Yes, and that's a 3 is good.
The best will in the world, it's going to be a 3. But that.
Jurassic World Rebirth, it really did what it set out to do.
Yeah.
And I want to hear your thoughts. It's not it getting a 3 wasn't finding it wanting. It getting a 3 is saying this is what it does, what it says on the tin.
You know what you're getting, and it gave it to you.
It's like it's getting a 3. It getting a 3 is why did you make this film?
It couldn't beat the last one though, simply because the last one had everybody coming back, and that was therefore a joy.
The last film had everybody coming back, and they did nothing with them. That was a travesty. That's why that film gets less than a 3 from me.
I'm pretty sure we've probably. What was the film we really watched and all of us liked it? Where everybody gave it a.
Sinners.
Nosferatu was.
Yes, Nosferatu.
Sinners and Nosferatu
is another one. Yeah,
that's interesting. Both of our 5-star films, all out, are vampire films.
Yeah. But elevated, they take the vampire thing and they do something with it. Like, for instance, Sinners could very easily have been just a cheap knockoff of From Dusk Till Dawn. No, they do something with it. And like Jurassic Park, the first film, right? it's like essentially when you hear, ooh, dinosaurs, we're going to go see dinosaurs run around. But no, they elevated it and they did something with it. So it became a classic as opposed to just being a monster movie that was made at that one time. And I feel like the Jurassic series, ever since there, has no ideas. I'm sorry, has no ideas to do anything with.
Nothing will ever be able to beat that.
Well, no, but at least try.
And remembering that moment when you first see.
Yeah, but at least try and do something that says, "Oh, this is in the same world as that film." But anyway, we've just gone into a post-show discussion / rant. But I like to say, for those of you who are still listening to us, have this post-show discussion / rant. Oh, by the way, yeah, you were right. Streaming did win. Until next week, when we'll see something in cinemas. Maybe I'll watch Jurassic Park Rebirth, but honestly, only if there's nothing else on.
Love, Death and Robots, Toes. We'll have a.
That I am definitely watching. I'm definitely watching on Love, Death and Robots.
I'm probably gonna watch it again anyway, or at least most of the episodes.
Yeah, but until next week, until that time, it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye for me.
Bye for me.
Goodbye, chicken. Thank you very much for joining us.